Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Slash Pizza. I'm your host Katie, and I will be bringing you news from all around the world of gaming. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would a gaming channel be called Slash Pizza? Well, Slash Pizza was a feature implemented into EverQuest 2 in 2005 that allowed players to order online through the game. This was before the advent of online ordering, and actually the feature was later removed once pizza chains started taking online ordering more seriously. The players were so disappointed that there was even a guild created called Bring Back Slash Pizza on the Everfrost server. And that is how I relate pizza to gaming. This week, I'd like to talk a little bit about a new feature that Blizzard has implemented in the Mists of Pandaria beta, and that is the Black Market Auction House. The feature is a little bit interesting because it will allow players to purchase items that are no longer available in-game or are difficult to obtain in the current game state. For example, the Ashes of Alar, which drop in Tempest Keep, have been seen available on the Black Market Auction House. I have personally spent a good amount of time trying to get the Ashes of Alar. That's especially before the Dark Phoenix mount was available in Cataclysm with the guild reward system. And I think the Ashes of Alar is an awesome looking mount. And while it is still obtainable through the raid, and I can duo it with, say, a guildmate or a friend, it still takes a lot of time to farm. 30 to 45 minutes once a week for months on end with no guarantee of ever actually seeing this item. And that can be really frustrating. Some people, they can make 20,000 gold in a day, and that's what this item has been seen for so far, is 20,000 gold. So I can take one day out of my time to make that 20k and go buy this item, and then boom, I have it. And I don't have to spend weeks farming. I think I'd rather just buy it at this point, personally. Some of the other items that have been seen available are the Argent Tournament pets, like the Teldrassil Sproutling, for example. The Teldrassil Sproutling is only available through the Darnassus merchants at the Argent Tournament. Personally, I used to play Druid, and I really love the old tree form. I was really sad to see it go. So when they made the announcement of the change for tree form, my main is a holy paladin, and so on my paladin I decided I really wanted to get the Teldrassil Sproutling as a tribute to the old tree form. The only problem was that I was a horde paladin, so that made it a little bit difficult. So what I ended up having to do was I actually had a friend of mine who was Alliance at the time do the dailies for me and get me the Teldrassil Sproutling before he transferred back to Horde, which he was planning on doing anyway. So luckily I was able to get it, but it otherwise would not have been available to me. So with this new Black Market Auction House, it seems like it'll be available to all factions, which is pretty cool. Another item that I saw available is the Tabard of the Flame, which is obtainable via the loot cards through the World of Warcraft trading card game. And that's something that I'm a little bit wary about, and the reason is that I'm actually a player of the TCG, so because I buy a lot of cards, I end up with a bunch of loot cards anyway, which obviously not everyone does, but I like to be a unique snowflake, you know? Like, I just want to be an individual, that's all. But it does make me a little bit sad that they're making these available on the Black Market Auction House. And my problem becomes that if they're going to be putting all of the TCG loots available on this new auction house, it's almost like, what's the point of buying the cards? Now, I don't buy the cards specifically for the loots, and I know that there are a lot of people who do, and that that'll save some people a lot of money. So I can understand from that perspective why this would be a good thing, but I'm just not all for it yet. Now, the Tabard of the Flame in particular is from a set that they don't actually print anymore. So that's something that's pretty cool because I don't actually have the Tabard myself. So that's something that I might even be interested in buying because I don't have it. And as long as we don't start seeing any spectral tigers out there, I think I'll be okay. And of course there's also like tier 3 gear, which you can't get anymore, which is pretty cool. And I'm sure we'll see lots of other things as well. So otherwise, I feel like there's probably a lot of mixed feelings about the black market auction house because suddenly all of these items are available to players who don't really have to go back and do this stuff, all of the incoming new players. So it's really great for them because they don't necessarily have all of the resources available to them to find these items. And that's not because they're not available at all, it's just because they don't necessarily know where to go to find those resources because they're a new player. So it's great for them because now these items are available to them in a way that they can easily access. And while I know people who've been playing for a really long time don't necessarily feel like we need to cater to the new players, it's definitely something that keeps the game going. With every new expansion, there's always an influx of new players trying out the game or an influx of players returning to the game to see all of the new content. And for these things to be readily available is something I think that is really important to keep those players from leaving and moving on to something bigger and better. And that's all for this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and check back next week for another installment of Slash Pizza. Bye!